Hello everyone, Crystal Putoff here. I am going to do the process where I apply resin to the pieces of jewelry that I have cut out, and the jewelry is on a golf tee stuck in this styrofoam block, and I have a little bit of museum putty. That's what keeps it in place, and that was a tip I got from Ainsley Larson Parker. I think it's her full name. It's Ainsley. She has beautiful jewelry work. Check out her site, Ainsley Larson. The product that I'm going to use is called Ecopoxy. Comes in two parts. This is part A, and I got part B. It's a soy-based product, so it does not have a real strong odor, at least not that I've noticed. But you do have to mix it in the two parts. One thing I highly recommend is that you have all of your stuff ready when you are getting ready to mix this Ecopoxy. So I have my little cup here I'm going to mix it in. I have my stirrer. I have this that I'm going to use to measure it. I have my brush that I'm going to use to apply it to the top of it. And I have gloves on my hand because I really don't want to get the resin on my hands either. And I've covered my workstation here with plastic. So you want to have it all together. I can't tell you the first few times I did this, I would be like, oh no, I forgot this. And then I'd have to stop and grab something. So the more I've done it, the better I've gotten. So we're going to just be putting a light coat of resin on the top of these pieces of jewelry. So I actually don't need a lot, but I do need equal parts, and that's why I'm using this syringe. And I'm going to measure in about 6 cc's. And I usually wait for it to finish. The part A tends to be a little thicker. You do have to sometimes heat that part up. The other thing I have done is labeled the caps, part A and part B, because if you put part A cap on the part B bottle, it's going to be stuck on there for life. So that's part A, and I meant to do 6, but you can see it filled up to 7. So I'm going to squeeze that into there. And if you want to watch a great video on mixing this, look up Jordan Bird. It's BYRD. She uses this product. She used it at an event called Pisanki at the Gardens. And she really does a great job. In fact, that's how I learned to do what I'm doing. So she shows you how to use the product and mix it. She uses it to fill an egg. She used it to fill up some quail eggs, so she shows you how you can do that too. Oops, don't knock that over. Okay. So I've done my part A and my part B, and now I am going to put this in here I use the same plunger because I'm going to throw this plunger away. It's a one-time only use type thing. You can try cleaning it out, but honestly, it's more work than what it's worth. Now I have both parts in there, and I need to stir it. I need to mix it up. And initially, I know you can't really see it too well, but it turns kind of a milky color when you first start mixing them. I gently mix it, wiping my brush, wiping the sides, and you will see it will start to become clear. And once it's clear, then you know you have it all mixed up. And I have something in there. Okay. Mix that up. It's starting to turn clear. All right. just an old craft popsicle stick that I got. That's what I'm using to stir it. And that I actually do reuse to stir up the next batch, because you do mix up several batches of this. Now I have here just a cheap craft brush. I actually think I might have gone a little too cheap because these brushes, sometimes the hairs fall out, so I really pulled on this one to try and get all the loose hairs out of it. But again, this is something I'm only going to use one time, so if you're a watercolor, acrylic, oil painter, and you want to try this process, don't use your good brushes, because you're not going to be able to get this resin off of it enough to reuse the brush. So now that I've mixed up my resin, and you do this very, very lightly. So I'm just going to brush it on. Very, very lightly. Just like that. You'll see it'll kind of shine. So my process, what I found works for me, is I resin the tops. I'm going to let this dry for at least a day, and then I will turn it over and I will fill the back. And I'll mix the resin in the same way, but the difference will be, after I mix it, I will pour it back into the syringe and I'll put a needle on it, a big needle. I forget what gauge it is. It's like a 14 gauge needle, to use that to kind of guide me as I'm filling in the back of it. And it'll stick to the putty, and because they're curved pieces, I may need to do a little positioning. Filling in the backs can take me up to a week. If it's a really deep piece like this one I'm doing right now that's very curved, that will take a couple of times to get it filled in. The smaller pieces like this one I'm doing now, I may be able to get that one filled in one batch. And there's another here. But it's the same process with mixing the resin. And you have waste with this. I mean, you just do. I won't use up all of this that I've made, and it'll just dry in this little cup, and then I'll throw the cup away. So that's my process to putting on the resin on the top. And I'll be back later and I'll show you how I fill in the backs as well. Thanks for watching and have a great day.